Hey guys, what's up? Steven here, and we're back to another Roblox tutorial. And in our tutorial, we're gonna do basic shapes in Roblox Studio. We're gonna check the available models in Roblox of basic shapes, and we're also gonna make our own, but all using Roblox. So let's get into it. So first off is go to your model and we would select parts. So let's remove this. So we have a clean slate here. And the available parts are block, which would be a rectangle, and then a sphere, which is circle. That's a real pure circle. And we have a wedge. A wedge is something more of a triangle. You can make it like an isosceles triangle or other stuff, not triangle, but it's more everything is 3D. So another part is corner wedge. This is mostly corners of the roof, similar shapes, and then cylinder. So cylinder is what we usually do to make pillars, something across those lines. So these are the only shapes that are available in Roblox. But how do they make it that these shapes become other parts or other shapes in Roblox? So what we have here, let's put it on basic shapes, are rectangle. This is a circle, and let's remove this for now. And this is triangle. So we could say that we can remove this because this is not currently a basic shape already. So we would have a triangle, a rectangle, and a sphere. Circle is a bit too much, I think, so we're just gonna call it a sphere. I think cylinder was more of a circle. But anyway, you will get the point of this video in a few seconds. So triangle can be made into a square. Obviously, it's gonna be a square. And every time it's gonna be a square is once it has its shape, or once the size is equal, which is that would make it a square. And the same with the circle. But let's say I want a sphere in as the sphere to be half, like a half half sphere. What do I do? And let's say I want the triangle to be other parts. Let's say instead of a triangle, we'll make something out of like a carved circle in it. So what they do is they use, again, this is purely going to be on Roblox and we're not going to be using any Blender on this part. So what they do is let's put this sphere right here and our square, and notice that our size is 444, which is technically the height of this would also be 444, and divided by 2 is we're gonna have to have 2, and then just cut up every piece, make sure that everything is being laid on, and all we gotta do is choose the select the circle, then select your square or rectangle. Let's duplicate this first for an example later. So let's click on the circle, then click on the square and use a negate function. Sorry, that went wrong. Just use the rectangle and choose the negate function. And then click on the circle and then the rectangle, and that's the time you use union. And after doing union, you would see that this is a perfectly half sphere. And if you want another half of it, you just do the same. So let's say we want half of it. Let's go with 2, and then let's make it so that it aligns on the part. then let's do it again. So first, again, is you negate the parts. Okay, one thing I want to mention is if you notice, I choose negate and there's some overlapping stuffs right there. So it would be best for you to, instead of just actually having it apart or just exactly having it on part, just extend it a bit so there's no, like it's full on negating. So what it does is we're gonna negate this part and then we're gonna click our first part, the one we want to stay, click the negated part, and then choose the union, and we would have a 1/4 of a sphere. And that would be the same on our rectangle. So on our triangle. So we're gonna have to place this triangle. So let's make this 2 or 4, 4, and then let's make a sphere on it. Let's make a sphere on it and go up a bit and down. So we're gonna cut something of an irregular shape here. Let's do three ball. Oops. And then again, let's do our negated part. Negate. Click on what you want to have, then click on the negate and then union. And there we have it. We would have a space in our actual model. So this is how they cut up parts in Roblox and how they can make the parts as well in Roblox. So from half circle or from half sphere we made 1/4, from a whole sphere we made 1/2, and you can get the idea on other rectangles wherein in this tutorial we're gonna also follow this basic negation and union to create other steps. So this is just an introduction video on how we can make various shapes in Roblox Studio without using any blender at all. And this way it's much more optimized in Roblox, so we don't have to worry about collisions and other stuff that are from third-party apps going to Roblox. And there you have it. Follow for more.